That big.
They close the lights here. No, don't work that way.
Right.
These guys, yeah, that'll should work.
Oh, there's already bills.
Call to order the regular common council meeting, Monday, October 15th, 7 p.m. Roll call.
McIntyre?
Yes.
Esau?
Yes.
Davis?
Yes.
Olson? Here. Wellnuts?
Yes.
Burdick?
Yes.
Next item is Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Confirmation of appropriate meeting notice.
Meeting was noticed on Friday, October 12th. Agenda is posted at the post office, library, and city hall.
Next item is council acceptance of the agenda.
I would like to ask that we move item 7A8 to after the budget discussion, and to also move line item 10 to between 5 and 6. Do I have to do that in motion form?
We're okay with just making a motion with those changes, or do we need a motion to, we don't need a motion to change them, do we? Just
No, the motion can,
include those changes?
That can be with the acceptance then?
yes.
Okay. Then I'll go ahead and make a motion to accept the agenda with the suggested changes.
I'll second.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Personal appearances. Anyone in the audience that wishes to speak on anything that's not on the agenda tonight? Okay. State your name and address for the record, please.
Chad Green. Address is 11605 Woodview Crossing, Edgerton. What I plan to do is host a fireworks event, fun fireworks on ice, January 12th, out in the middle of the costume. I contacted the DNR, they're clear with it. Contacted the state, they're okay with it. I talked to Albion, Sumter, Jefferson, townships, King County, Rock County, they're all on board with it. I just wanted to bring it to the meeting. I'm new at this, first year, I'm shooting from the hip. I have 6,000 people interested on Facebook, 188 coming so far, and imagine that's going to grow and bring some business into the area. Restaurants, bars, gas stations, hospitals.
Okay, and we don't have to do anything.
Nope.
We have no jurisdiction there, so other than the advertising, of,
To your attention.
which I have seen it on Facebook myself. And
You're all invited.
okay.
To make it more attractive for donors, sponsors, I'm not going to tolerate any form of discrimination, race, color, sex, religion, orientation, none of that. Supposed to be friendly for everybody. That's about it.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for putting that.
Where are you shooting the fireworks off from?
It's going to be pretty much dead center between Buckhorn and Fairview.
From out in the lake?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sunset will have a good view of it. Pretty much anywhere around the lake.
Okay.
Not
Sounds
so
like
much
fun.
north because the point sticks out there. And on the northeast side of the lake, it's not populated, so I'm not concerned about that. Wildwood, Highwood, Indian Heights, Milton Township, Valley Club, Century, everyone can have a good view. Not going to be loud. I've already yelled at it, so people in their pets. Pets are welcome too. Unless you live in a pet. But we're not going for a loud show, we're just going for a light show, so everybody else will start January 5th.
Great idea. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Okay, we'll move on to number 10. which is the declaration recognizing and honoring Police Chief Hoover Tance for his 28 years of public service in the city of Edgerton.
I'll make that as a motion.
I'll second.
Any discussion?
Are you going to read that again, Chris?
I'm not going to read it again unless somebody wants me to.
I just make one extra comment. That was an excellent presentation earlier, Chris, Mayor, for the council and city staff. And also, anybody else has something to say that, Tom, you've been born and raised in this town. I can remember the Chiefs back when I was a kid back in the 60s and 70s, Art Wall and all that stuff. And Ma talking about George Sweeney when she was a kid and stuff. And you fall in line with the greats. You do, really. And when you walk around town after your retirement, I don't know what you got plans for, you can always raise your head high. When you walk around town or drive your car, go to businesses, I've seen you on and off throughout the years, to know what you did for our city and your officers and the leadership you provided to all your officers that you've been a leader of as chief over the years has been really super. They're always so extremely kind and professional. And they always lend a nice helping hand to a lot of the citizens out there, and that's a reflection on your leadership. So good luck with everything, Tom.
You're here. Anyone else? Thanks again.
Congratulations.
Don't get bored. You won't. You won't get bored. Okay. Roll call.
McIntyre?
Yes.
Olson?
Yes.
Walnuts?
Yes.
Burdick?
Yes.
Esau?
Yes.
Davis?
Yes.
Motion passes. You can keep the original now. Okay, let's move on to the minutes from October 1st.
Motion to approve minutes of October 1st.
Second.
Any corrections or additions? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Finance Committee, Mark.
I'm making a motion to approve pay request number 4 from Concrete Service Company for the 2018 sidewalk project in the amount of $4,509.68.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Walnuts?
Yes.
Davis?
Yes.
Olson?
Yes.
Burdick?
Yes.
McIntyre?
Yes.
Esau?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Motion to approve a change order number 2 from G. Fox and Son Incorporated for the Broadway and Chaucer Street Improvement Project in the amount of $8,410.
Second.
Increase or decrease?
That was a decrease there, right?
Any further discussion?
Yes.
Hearing none, roll call.
Walnuts?
Yes.
McIntyre?
Yes.
Esau?
Yes.
Davis?
Yes.
Olson?
Yes.
Burdick?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Motion to approve a pay request number 4 from G. Fox and Son Incorporated for the Broadway and Chaucer Street Improvement Project in the amount of $22,367.28.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Walnuts?
Yes.
Davis?
Yes.
Olson?
Yes.
Burdick?
Yes.
McIntyre?
Yes.
Esau?
Motion passes.
Motion to approve bills and payroll in the amount of $352,649.76.
Second.
Any questions on the bills? Hearing none, roll call.
Walnuts?
Yes.
Davis?
Yes.
Burdick?
Yes.
McIntyre? Esau?
Yes.
Olson?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Make a motion to approve a Class A combination liquor license for Casey's Marketing Company, 1022 North Main Street.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Walnuts?
Yes.
McIntyre?
Yes.
Esau? Davis?
Yes.
Olson?
Yes.
Burdick?
Yes.
Motion passes.
I'll make a motion to approve a cigarette and tobacco license for Casey's Marketing Company, 1022 North Main Street.
Second.
Discussion. Hearing none, roll call.
Walnuts?
Yes.
Davis?
Yes.
McIntyre?
Yes.
Isa,
Yes.
Olson,
Yes.
Burdick.
Yes.
Motion passes.
And we'll make a motion to award the bid for the racetrack trail project in the amount of $57,152 and reject the alternate bid number 1 with that bid going to GMS Excavators.
Second.
Any discussion?
Is that Jim? Did you
Second time.
second time?
Hearing none, roll call.
Walnuts,
Yes.
McIntyre,
Yes.
Davis,
Yes.
Olson,
Yes.
Burdick,
Yes.
Isa,
Yes.
Motion passes.
Make a motion to award the bid for the Veterans Building canopy in the amount of $35,413.
Second.
Any discussion?
Yeah, it was good patience on staff side to go through, going through some extra bids, the first ones, and didn't turn out the greatest, so we kept the ball rolling.
Anyone else? Roll call.
Walnuts,
Yes.
McIntyre,
Yes.
Olson,
Yes.
Burdick,
Yes.
Isa,
Yes.
Davis.
Yes.
Motion passes.
We're going to take care of 8 later, so I'll move on and make a motion to approve the Cedar Corp addendum for the library building HVAC design.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Walnuts,
Yes.
Davis,
Yes.
Olson,
Yes.
Burdick,
Yes.
McIntyre,
Yes.
Isa,
Yes. Motion passes.
All I have for finance right now.
Thank you. Utility Commission, anything to bring forward?
Yep, utilities met a week ago tonight, and we approved the water and sewer budgets. Recommended approval coming to council. And that's it.
Thank you. Next item is to consider adoption of City of Edgerton Resolution 1718, authorize a signatory municipality to exceed the levy limit for the Edgerton Fire Protection District.
I'll make that a motion.
I'll second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Davis. Yes. McIntyre,
Yes.
Isa,
Yes.
Olson,
Yes.
Walnuts,
Yes.
Burdick,
Yes.
Motion passes. Next item is to consider adoption of City of Edgerton Resolution 1818, resolution requesting exemption from the Rock and Dane County library tax.
Make that a motion.
I'll second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Walnuts,
Yes.
Davis,
Yes.
Olson,
Yes.
Burdick,
Yes.
McIntyre,
Yes.
Isa,
Yes.
Motion passes. And the next item is to discuss and consider 2019 budget. There's one handout left here for you, and I'll let you take the floor for what else you want to present tonight.
All right, in your packet is a brief staff report that mostly notes things you've seen before and any changes that were made to the last draft budget. The 2 major changes made to the last draft include a new number, a significantly higher number for the library HVAC work, as well as the bids came in for South Main Street. So those numbers are included in your budget, leaving you with $95,883 to remove in order to reach your levy limit. The brief note that is at your place was really just notes that I made for myself this evening in thinking through the process. It certainly isn't necessarily written for a guiding document for you, but the mayor thought it might be useful for you to have in front of you. It provides you with some options, or really kind of the options that are available to you to try to reach your levy limit. And I can go through it if you wish, but mostly it's just notes for you to have. I can answer questions if that's helpful.
Okay, the number was 95,000.
Yes. 83.
Anybody have any suggestions?
I just got to ask one. What do we have left, Ramona, in the 125,000 left in general surplus fund?
The capital surplus?
Okay,
Yeah,
capital.
let's refer to it as that as opposed to general
Okay,
fund. So capital, yes, 125. That's an estimation, of course, because numbers aren't final.
I was
But
just curious.
that's where we think we'll be at the end of the year.
Okay.
Seems to me last meeting, we were, the overage was at like 50-something because we put a truck on in the,
We removed a truck,
we removed the truck.
right?
So is that where we're at, or is this,
You were at 54,000 at the end of last meeting around there. Now you're at 95 because of the changes that I mentioned, the library
Okay.
and the South Main Street project.
okay.
Well, why don't we go right to the South Main project. There's no time for patching this year. 19, nothing gets done out there. 20, is that when the infrastructure goes in? 21 is when the infrastructure goes in? So we got 2 more after this year, which nothing can be done this year. We've only got 2 more years of getting through with that before we can dig it up and start over. Is it worth putting that $55,000 into it?
No.
2 years? And how bad will it break up in the next 2 years? Will it be even more of a fight a year from now?
It'll be more of a fight a year from now if what? If we do the overlay?
To maintain it. If
To
we don't
maintain
overlay
it.
We're not going to get it done, well, overlay we'd get done this year, but no patching this year if we took the overlay out.
But how often can you keep patching it? I mean, will you,
I mean, the plan was initially that Tom would be patching every year until the utility project started in 2021. That was the plan. We anticipated or hoped that this would be a cheaper alternative, this
Right.
overlay. It's not. So now that's only counting materials costs, remember, that if his staff has to do the overlay, we haven't accounted for
Yeah.
his labor costs. But, we were talking $14,000 a year for 3 years. That put us, in the 40,000. So that seemed like if we could get it done for that, it would be certainly worthwhile because no more money and you save the time resources of the Department of Public Works. Obviously, the bid didn't come in there, it came in higher. So I think the mayor's questioning in a cost benefit, if we're going to spend $50,000 on a road repair, could we get by with patching for a couple of years and maybe having resources for other roads that are going to have a longer life in South Main? I think that's the question that...
And how much patching do we actually need to do to keep it going rather than making it fairly decent to be torn up in 2 years again?
right? Well, so I know you patch every year. Isn't it getting to the point that you almost have to patch twice a year in some spots there?
We do a kind of asphalt patching during the summer, and still are out there the remainder of the year filling holes.
Yeah.
So it's continuous.
It's continuous, okay, because that's what I notice. I mean, I don't mind if that's what we have to do, but when we see these big, deep holes that come up 3/4 of the way through the year, we can't not let those go. I mean, we have to patch those. It's just so bad.
Is there a chance that some of that would still break through even with the overlay on it? Because the overlay's not that thick.
Okay.
It's only an inch.
So we may be breaking that up before we're
Right,
done too. We
'cause-
might-
and that just never seems to
Well,
work
I'm okay with that as long as we continue to watch it and those holes keep, if you guys have to go out there a couple different times,
We do as often as we can,
Okay.
but it's tough to patch a hole when there's ice in it.
Yeah.
So we're playing the weather. Where if we overlaid it, it would be sealed.
Well, if we were to not do it this year, what effect does that have? I know you have the numbers in here.
Yeah, if it's helpful, that would reduce the 95,000 that you're short by 21,733. And then the next question that probably should be asked, then we have $17,500 in the 2018 budget that we have been reserving for that patching job, which won't happen. We have to patch because there isn't time anymore to do that this year. So then the question would be, would we carry that next year and add 17.5 to our road budget for next year so we can make repairs to those streets that what streets need it the most, that is the best investment, and that's what Tom decides every year, is which streets, best to invest in. So that would be the second question if you were to decide to not take the South Main, not do the South Main project.
I'll make a motion to not do the South Main project, reducing the 2019 levy by $21,733, and to also carry over the $17,500 from the 2018 budget to the 2019 street repair budget.
I'll second that.
Okay, any more discussion on that? Hearing none, roll call.
Wellnutz,
Yes.
Olson,
Yes.
Burdick, McIntyre,
Yes.
Esau,
Yes.
Davis,
Yes.
Okay,
What are we down to now?
74,000 thereabouts.
74,150.
150.
Did we get any firm prices on some of the library painting?
We did, and I apologize. I got it today, and I wasn't even sure if I was going to get to this meeting. I'm coming from the hospital with my
Good luck.
Thank you for your help.
Yep.
Yes,
Oh, yeah,
thank you.
I'll bet.
Have a good night.
Good luck.
So roughly the different zones, like the hallway, is about $3,500. I don't have the actual piece of paper with me. And about the same, about 3,000 for the front upstairs.
The high part?
Yeah, so those are the two kind of, like, I would say priority areas that, Albion Street doorway and stairway and that whole entrance area, is about 3,500, 36, 34.
It can,
Going off my memory.
it can all be
Yeah,
split,
this morning.
you were saying it can all be split into phases?
Yeah, so I had a bid done where they broke down different walls, and some of the upstairs is like much more expensive because of all the railing, and the paint takes a lot longer to dry, the metal work, those poles, things like that. So some of that isn't as bad. It's just if you're going to be, tend to do everything and not just leave like one section. But one of the malls is kind of, there's some big gouges in it. And then that entryway is completely done. I splatted the worst part.
I'd kind of like to open up some little discussion here, if I could. And it's probably not going to be real popular or something, but I'm looking, and I'm not a big one on borrowing, but I've been looking at the debt schedule and some of this information we've requested over the past few meetings. And I know what we're trying to do is maintain all the way across and what we borrow and our payment schedule and whatnot, but I see projects that we need, and we really need to put some money into, and we're sitting there trying to pick, I mean, which is what we're supposed to do. But I also see some of these street projects as 10-year out projections and whatnot. And some of these roads are just, I mean, they really need work. I mean, I don't see how we can keep pushing this stuff off. Mine is to open up a discussion on borrowing. The city's at a great place, I mean, with where we're at, and to borrow, to balance this, I mean, pick, right? But, like, again, I'm not one big one on borrowing, but to borrow a few $100,000, just throw a number out there, covers this, covers a lot of streets, gets a lot of stuff done without having to take away things from people that really need it. Some of the stuff really needs, these projects need to be done. And like I said, I know people aren't that hip on borrowing, but we are in a place where we could borrow next year just an extra few $100,000, and we could take care of an awful lot of stuff, particularly minus streets, but we'd have to discuss that next year when we borrow it. If we narrow it down and get streets and road repair and get some of these 10-year projects moved up a couple of years, patching, this $50,000 we're saving, we could throw that back out there, and that matches your entire budget, $50,000, right, for a year. There's an extra, that's 2 years' worth you can get done in one. Labor intensive, I know, but I'm just going to throw out, open the discussion on that we look at maybe upping our borrowing a little bit. I mean, I realize taxes and whatnot, but if you see what's been played out there for a few $100,000, $19 per 100,000, people would probably be okay, I think, with coming up with a little bit. I mean, paying an extra $30, $40, $35 in their taxes if they're seeing us out there patching roads, putting in, taking care of these potholes and the crack filling and whatnot, preventing future deterioration by getting out there early. That's my opinion. I know this is probably not.
Have we done our borrowing yet for the
popular, but
next year, so we could add on?
Yes, yeah, and we'll have that conversation again certainly before we do, so you have that
If we were
opportunity.
to borrow the smaller amount separately, it would be more expensive to borrow usually
Yeah,
because of
we strategize one borrowing because that's the cheapest money, so that's why we borrow once every 4 years. There's a plan in that. So we.
But we could add this on. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yes.
We could add this on when we do it, and that would cover these things that we're in the hole on now, or we're looking at trying to eliminate. Correct?
Yes, yes, there would be
Okay.
some things that are maintenance that you wouldn't want to borrow for, but any of those items that have a longer life, a capital 10-year
Right.
life, then those are things that we would typically consider for borrowing.
Like Tronson Road or something, would that qualify, for instance?
Yeah, something that small, I would, yeah, I mean, you obviously will make that decision. $12,000, I wouldn't include in a borrowing.
Okay.
We have capital fund
Okay.
resources
Right.
for those smaller projects, that it seems as though that's why we have that fund there.
Capital fund surplus, you bet?
Yes.
Okay, gotcha.
That didn't go over.
You have here on the memo, our debt service level 19 is 603, Ramona? So if we got into that, that'd raise that up, say if we do an extra, whatever. That's where it is now, 603?
That's what it'll be for, yes, for next year.
Gotcha, okay.
And I definitely wasn't talking about taking the whole thing. I mean, we discussed that, but I was just adding up some of these other projects, and I figured 320, 340 would get some of these streets moved up several years.
Did we ever do a study of what it costs to do like an overlay on Swift Street from Rowland up to North Main?
No.
No, okay, I was curious, because that's pretty bad.
Yeah, that's in the next 5 years.
Okay, yeah, that's.
So the hope is that that wouldn't be too far out. That's another huge project, though.
Back to the library. Well, do you have an idea what the total was? with all the...
Well, partially, so this estimate, when I had him come over, everything is separate.
Right.
So it is higher than 15,000
Okay.
if you're doing parts. I added it up, all the parts was about 18,000.
Yeah.
Which, a big part of that is labor of just getting ready. I mean, the prep work, so if you're painting 3 walls or 1 wall, some of that will be more expensive. So. So that didn't surprise me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Everything is 2006.
Original.
So.
When the addition.
think we should cut it for the library?
I mean, we have to look at what the public spaces are too. The
Yeah.
library spaces, I don't know which space in the PD, was it the lobby or was it the hallways in the private area of the building?
The whole building.
And I think you could make an argument for the public spaces over the private spaces, so I think that's part of the debate of what is the priority.
We're not paying one building money next year. Putting it out there. The stairwell needed it really bad. Some of the upstairs large area did it, especially in that alcove. Anybody still?
The reality, part of my request too is to, we want to keep our building looking fresh and inviting, and we can't like totally do everything at one time. So trying to stagger some projects because that eventually the carpeting will need to be replaced, you know. Roof, I mean, some of those things we have to be planning ahead will be projects. So trying to keep the building as our public face looking like we're taking care of it.
Painting job lasts over 10 years, that technically could go to, just as an idea, for the capital fund surplus, everything over 10 years.
Yeah, 10 years is the policy you have.
I've just thrown out for a talk. If we're looking at the decrease in the levy. Got 125 in there.
It'd be probably better to move the AC replacement and engineering and all that into that part of it, into the capital surplus fund.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
What part was that, Chris?
The AC replacement and the engineering.
Right.
All those numbers are in the budget for the library, the increased numbers?
Correct.
Okay.
So right now, the levy impact for the library AC is 55,000 because the library board, as you saw in the memo, is willing to put up a significant amount of the money needed to do the
Right.
project. So that's why it's 55,000 and not significantly higher.
Oh, okay.
And you already applied 30,000 from the predicted
Sure.
this year's surplus to that project. So that's how you get to 55.
Change the topic. Speed trailer.
After we get it moved to budget, don't forget to move to borrowing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to make a motion to reduce the racetrack park gate to $500 to build in-house, saving $2,000 on the levy.
I'll second that.
Any discussion?
Do we really need a gate there?
Yeah, I think so. Don't you think it doesn't look good?
I think it should be open.
That would be a bigger discussion than the gate.
It was there for about 100 years that way.
I don't like the idea of closing it off.
So that's a separate topic at least,
Yeah.
right?
Any
What was the
further-
motion again, Mark?
To build the racetrack park gate in-house, for 500, reducing the budget by 2,000.
Thank you.
Any further discussion?
Yeah, that was a good motion to reduce that. My take on it, I don't think we even need nothing there anyways in the first place, so, but it was a good motion to reduce it, at least from the original part. It'd be nice to have that thing open all the time. That's all I had to say.
Anyone else? Roll call.
Wellnuts,
Yes.
Davis,
Yes.
Olson,
No.
Burdick,
Yes.
McIntyre,
No.
Esau,
Yes.
Motion passes 4-2.
Shoot.
I'd like to make a motion to eliminate one for umbrella from the budget. Oh, that's not on.
One that we own already?
Very good, very good.
Until next year.
Yeah.
No, next year we paint the police station, now the chief's gone.
So what's that down to now, Chris? Number
72 something.
72, 150.
Okay, another suggestion was to eliminate a voting machine. Is that something that we can get by with for a year or so?
Well, we can eliminate one. We probably wouldn't get one after that because right now we're buying it in bulk with the county.
Okay.
They're buying 50, so they got a quantity discount, but we can get by with one.
And they've already got the votes cast in them?
Cindy, this one wouldn't come till 2019 anyways, right?
Right.
Okay, so we're all set up for the massive turnout in 21 days.
This is to replace one of the big machine that we have for the handicap.
Oh, thanks for bringing it up, though. That's very appreciative.
And how substantial would the discount be if we went along with the county's order now?
I don't know what the original price is. The reduced price that the county went out and got for 50 machines for everyone in the county is $3,500 a machine.
And how often do they do that? First
It's a
time ever that you know
one-time
of?
deal. Yeah, because, you know, they're not going to buy that quantity again.
How about Dane County?
Dane County doesn't, I think a lot of Dane County's already gone over to the express machines because I know Monisset and Madison is already on those. The machine uses a blank ballot, so you don't actually have a pre-printed ballot on it. It's a touch screen, so you know it's nice if you ever run short of ballots. You know, there's a lot of advantages to it, but we can get by with one.
And just for clarification, it's only early voting uses those machines. When you go to vote regular, they're all just paper ballots, just like everywhere in
No, you use
Madison.
them during the election also.
Yeah.
They have like one though in the voting area, like we have. They're not all.
Yeah.
Most of them are just paper ballots in a booth. At least where I vote, that's how it is.
Okay, so not everybody's lined up at that machine waiting to
No.
do their electronic.
Only when they run out of ballots do you
Only when
stand in
they run
line
out
at
of
that
ballots.
machine, yes. And then you're good forever.
Because otherwise, you may need 10 of them then if you eliminate paper ballots. You would
Yeah.
need several of those machines.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you could get by with one.
So, do we need a motion then? I would like to make a motion that we reduce the voting machines from 2 to 1.
Second.
Any discussion?
And what was the dollar amount on that? 3,500?
Roll call.
Olson,
Yes.
Burdick,
Yes.
McIntyre,
Yes.
Esau,
Yes.
Davis,
Yes.
Wellnuts.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Down to
That's 69.
Yes.
Hey, all right.
We have a policy really in place, so it's up to you.
Only a couple hundred. What has happened to it in the past? Well, we've never been over in the budget, but received more than what was budgeted for, whatever.
We're talking about, just so everybody knows what we're talking about, the Brown Fund, our investment we made in the community.
Oh, this is for the vests,
foundation.
the police vests.
I'm sorry, I thought that was the Brown Fund
Yeah.
that we had there. It's about the same amount.
We got the grants for that, and with what we all donated for them, it came out with a couple $100 extra. So if nobody wants any of their donation back, we've got a couple $100 extra to put towards this year's.
Sure.
Or something else.
Is that what it was? Do you remember? It was a couple $100? Did you do the?
Yeah, I had that slip too that you had all the numbers on, and I don't remember what the total was, like
I don't remember either.
250.
I know.
I was wondering about that. I don't know what I'll do, how bad they are.
What we could do is
I
take
don't
our
recall-
12,000 for,
I don't want to try to go off the top of my head on that one.
12,000 from Crossan Road, either going to your deal with the borrow.
Do we take into that?
Get all the. That would do something.
So if we move the library to the capital surplus fund,
Okay.
55,000.
What is that, 55?
Yeah, on that.
I know I asked this before, what's a typical good amount for us to carry over, do we like to think?
Well, we don't really have a policy for that.
Right.
The money is, gathered based on surpluses created in prior years. So if any year the general fund is short, then, there wouldn't be any transfer, so we wouldn't be building that fund. So it really depends on how the general fund turns out. Next year's general fund appears that it will create a surplus again, so it will be added to that 125. So that money is available for things like the Blaine Street project, where we didn't anticipate anywhere near the amount of, well, that was a water utility project, for those of you who are in water utility and followed that project. That was, in theory, funded by the water utility because they were replacing the street after they put the water main in. But as it turned out, there was $40,000 worth of curb work that had to be done that wasn't related to the utility, and so those funds were available for that. So it has provided flexibility in budget years as well as during the year when projects come up that aren't otherwise funded. So it is good to have those funds, but if you didn't have those funds, you simply would have to say either take it out of your other savings or you'd say no to the project.
Typically, how much do we carry over, do you remember? Is it in the...
On average, I would guess, we've only done this 4 or 5 years, and I would say on average it would be around maybe 60,000.
Yeah, okay, I was thinking 70-ish.
Last couple of years have been larger numbers.
Okay, so Chris, you were talking about the 55,000 out of there,
Reduces 70.
out of the capital, for the library, out of the capital surplus, that leaves us about 70,000.
Yep.
Correct? And then
that
it
would
takes our,
budget to 13,600.
yeah, budget down to 13,650. That makes sense to me. I mean, I feel comfortable with that.
The one advantage of doing that project out of the capital surplus fund is it is right now so much an unknown.
Right.
That if you put it in the general fund and something goes one way or
Changes.
the other, it's a much less flexible funding tool. So
Right.
obviously you make all the decisions on what gets spent through the bidding and all of that. but it does, that fund does have a little more flexibility than a levy support, a levy-supported fund. So if one project goes for some reason, for various reasons, it seems like a logical one to move to the capital project surplus.
I like that.
You want to make that as a motion?
Yes, I'll make that a motion.
I'll second.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Davis?
Yes.
Wellnitz?
Yes.
Burdick?
Yes.
McIntyre?
Yes.
Isa? Olson?
Yes.
Motion passes. Okay, does anybody still want to paint some library?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If we left that at 10,000, do you think we could hire out part of it and get enough materials where we could paint? A few of us that were volunteering to do it.
I think at, like 7,000 or 8,000, the worst areas could get done.
And we should be able to get enough materials to do the easier stuff for a couple thousand.
All right, so I'm gonna, what number was that we figured?
If we can.
15 is what we have in, right? Yes, 15 is what you have in there now.
10 is kind of what you were thinking, as far as
Leave 10 in to do
being,
it.
stay on the safe side?
Unless you want to take the Tronson Road and move that, then we're into the repair budget, but that's taking away another project that could be done.
Yeah, the two options for Thronson is to move it to capital surplus, right, is one option, or have it part of the annual allocation of 50,000. Is that what you're?
Right.
Those are two options.
Which had 17.5 added to it this year for next year.
Correct.
Right, so that'd cover it right there.
Is that gonna do you any good if we do that? Take it out of your, move the Tronson into your repair budget now that we just added to it, but we'll take back by moving the Tronson into it?
So you'd have 55,700, is that what it was? It was 17.5, no, so 7,500, $57,500 next year instead of $50,000.
67.
But Thronson would have to,
taking the Tronson. Okay, yeah.
Your regular road repair budget would actually get increased from 50 to 57.5, and and Thronson gets fixed also as part of that. Not in that, but in addition to that. So you'd have a little more money next year than you typically do, I think is what you're talking about, right?
Sure.
Clear as mud?
Yeah.
Putting
Sorry, that was
17.5
not
in
clear.
and taking 12.
I'm up for that, let's do it.
Using 12 for
12 over 17.5, so yeah, you're still gonna.
Yeah, I like that.
5,500 extra.
I'll make that a motion.
I'll second that.
$55,750 is what you just said, something like that? Yeah, 55,700. Left in the street repair budget then after this gets added to what we added, or taken from what we added. Okay.
Put that on South Main next year.
Just go easy on that. We're going to be tearing that up in a couple of years anyhow. Just do it. Do it has to be done.
I didn't hear that.
Okay, so let me make sure I've got this right. So we're going to use a portion of the 17,500 road repair carryover to fund the Thronson Drive repair project in 2019 in the amount of $12,000.
It's just what he said.
Okay.
Sounds good, that's,
Exactly.
And who seconded that?
Me.
Thank you.
yeah, that's where I was leading at the last budget meeting 2 weeks ago, so that sounds good.
Anyone else? Roll call.
Wellnitz?
Yes.
Davis?
Yes.
Olson?
Yes.
Burdick?
Yes.
McIntyre?
Yes.
Isa?
Yes.
Motion passes. What kind of number are we looking at now? Can't be too much.
1650?
50.
Take it out of capital surplus.
For contingency.
Huh?
Or contingency.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear.
Or contingency.
Or
You'd
contingency.
have to have a
going back
project.
up again.
Oh, sure.
Project to move the capital.
Oh, yeah.
We need to find out,
I would make a motion, take it out of contingency.
but we just went there.
Second.
I'll second it.
What did he say?
And what was the amount?
1,650.
We're up to over 8,000.
So we're reducing contingency?
Correct.
That amount?
You're down to 0.
We are.
Were we taking out a cap?
No,
Oh, contingency.
Yeah, I will. Can't
Any further discussion? Does everybody know what the motion is?
Who seconded it?
Sure.
Debbie?
Debbie?
How much is left in the capital surplus fund? Well, wait, do that after the motion.
70,000.
70,000?
Bless you.
There's 70,000 in it.
Okay, now you can make your motion and bring it back.
Motion on the floor. Everybody know what the motion is? Must do.
It was to
50.
move it, take it out of the contingency fund,
Contingency?
and I seconded it.
Yeah, those guys were busy over there. I didn't know if they caught it all. Okay. Roll call.
Davis?
Yes.
Olson?
Yes.
Wellnuts?
Yes.
Burdick?
Yes.
Isa?
Yes.
McIntyre?
Yes.
Motion carried. Okay, so we left all the 15,000 in for the painting. If we're still gonna do it and we can save some money there, maybe we can carry a couple cans over to the police station and do that sometime.
Yeah, I think so. Maybe we had an ex-police chief that could help us paint it.
Yeah.
I said an ex-police chief.
The retired, former.
I got one thing. Can I bring up one thing?
Sure.
I'm going to throw it at you guys again because you shot me down last time, but
Well,
I'd like to reconsider the speed trailer and that we bring it back 6,500 and we take it out of capital surplus. If I have to make that a motion, I guess I do, right? You guys want to... Come on, shoot me down.
Make it a motion.
Make it a motion? All right, I'm going to make a motion that we reconsider, or we bring back speed trailer for 6,500 and that we...
Second.
Okay, any discussion on that? Hearing none, roll call.
Who seconded it?
Dave.
Esau.
Thank you. I'm busy writing the motion. Did we have it where we were, how we were gonna fund it yet, or just that we're bringing it back?
Out of the capital surplus fund.
Oh. Okay.
Ready?
I'm ready.
Roll call.
Burdick?
Yes.
Esau?
Yes.
McIntyre?
Yes.
Davis?
No.
Olson?
Yes.
Wellnuts?
No.
Motion passes 4-2.
Mona, where are we at for the levy now?
0?
Zero. Cool.
We were at 0 before the,
That's what I thought.
Before we put the trailer back in.
We're still checking.
What is it at currently? What is it at after this, if this budget were? 64,000 something?
63.5.
That's just above that average that she mentioned that we like to have.
Speed trailer was 65. wasn't
Even
it?
keel.
And did you get the popcorn popper? It's still in
It's
there.
in there.
I know a good place to go with the old one.
Yeah, and that trailer we gotta get built.
Yeah. We'll have to figure out how we can do that.
If there aren't any other changes with this information, we can put the legal notice in the paper.
Okay.
So your public hearing will be the second meeting in November. So we'll have this on the agenda again, first meeting in November. And we can let you know if there's anything that's changed. We get notified from someone about numbers changing or anything, so we'll have all that prepared.
So with this being said and done, we do not have to go back and revisit 8.
I believe we do, don't we? We need to either approve or reject.
Yes,
Or
you
bid or
should make a
reject.
motion to deny or not award, reject the bids, yeah. Formally, I think it would be good to have that.
Okay, then, if I may, I'll go ahead and make the motion to deny the South Main Street overlay as indicated in the budget process.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Wellnuts,
Yes.
Isa,
Yes.
McIntyre,
Yes.
Davis,
Yes,
Olson,
Yes.
Burdick,
Yes.
reluctantly.
Motion passes. Okay, that's all we need for that now?
Yes.
Everybody's good? Next item is Mayor, Alderperson, and staff reports. Got Book Fest coming up the 27th, the weekend of the 27th. Fire Department's having a pancake breakfast on the 28th, so I think that's all I have.
And our next meeting is November,
November 5th,
the day before the election.
then the 19th. Oh, happy Halloween, everybody.
And it is also the Warriors and Wizards Festival coming up this weekend.
I was going to mention that too, but it slipped my mind.
No, it's coming up, yeah.
Yeah, it's come up this weekend, isn't it?
So why are we not having a meeting on October 29th?
What?
So we said the next meeting is November something? Oh, because it's, I'm sorry. I didn't realize it was 3 Monday, or 5 Mondays.
5 Mondays, yep.
Okay.
Breaker, 10-4.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Thank you. And thank you, everybody, for working on the budgets, and hopefully nobody's too short on what we